Joining us now, our former Congressional Budget Office Director, Douglas Holtz-Eakin. He's president of the American Action Forum, and CNN economics commentator, Catherine Rampell. It's great to have you both here. We've got a left-right split, disagreements on the virtues and values of this bill. But let me start with you, Catherine. What do you make of Kristen Sinema's holdout to date, her concerns about carried interest, and also the data Tammy just laid out, which this could end up impacting workers and average folks in unintended ways?
So Senator Sinema has kept her cards pretty close to the chest. We don't actually know what demand she's going to make in terms of changes to the bill. Based on things she had said to some of her colleagues last year, it looks like she wants to kill the carried interest loophole provision, which basically says that if you are a private equity fund manager or other kinds of investment managers, you can pay much lower tax rates on a large portion of your income than the typical worker working off of the sweat of their brow. My view on this is it's not really defensible to keep this in the tax code. I don't know what public policy purpose it serves, but it's a relatively little amount of money at stake. It's like $14 billion. If they sacrifice this provision, it's not going to kill the whole bill. So if they want to give it to her, fine. The book corporate minimum tax, that's a lot more complicated. It's a lot more money, and I do think there are problems with it, to be clear. If I were tax law dictator, I would do something different to raise revenue, including from corporations. It's like maybe the 10th best policy available, but the 10th best is still a solution, and I think it is good enough, is the way I would put it. I know it's faint praise, but I think it's good enough in terms of achieving the goals necessary, raising revenue so that we can get these important climate investments through.
All right, Doug, I know I speak from all of us when I say we're glad that tax law dictator is a position that does not exist. But Doug, what is your...
I was just going to nominate Catherine.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
See, that's the bringing together of people we like to have here on New Day. Doug, what's your take on this bill? I know you're not a big fan, top line, but what about carried interest in particular?
I think carried interest is a really complicated tax question, literally. What is the appropriate tax treatment of this? Should it be taxed at the point when you grant it to the private equity manager or at the point when they realize it? Is it ordinary income or capital gains? The reality is, as Catherine said, this is not a lot of money. This is $14 billion in this bill. It's not the sort of crucial piece of financing. And we have been having this same debate since 2009. And so it's no longer a loophole. The Congress has decided that this is how we're going to treat this income, and that's that. It's like saying the mortgage interest deduction is a loophole. So whether you like it or not, it is how we've decided to treat this income, and I don't see it as a crucial discussion here. I think Catherine's right that the book income tax, this minimum tax, is something you should be very, very worried about. The U.S. tried this in the 1980s and quickly gave it up because it does two things. One, it damages the financial reporting. You're now reporting your financial income for tax purposes, and that you start shading things to try to lower your taxes. And the second thing it does is it really harms the firms you really don't want to tax. If you've got taxable income of zero, but you've got high book income, that means you're taking advantage of expensing investments or research and development credits, the things Congress wants you to do. So this is most likely to fall on our most successful, fastest growing firms. That doesn't make sense right now. Interesting.
All right, Catherine, let's just talk about the stakes here for Democrats. And you're saying basically like if Kristen wants to protect carried interest for whatever reason.
It's not defensible in my view, but I can live with it.
All right. What are the economic impacts around inflation? Doug has said in a blog post, which I thought was very funny, that calling this the Inflation Reduction Act is like calling his Twizzlers dope. By which I think he's saying that, look, it's not really about inflation, but Joe Manchin and other folks point to the fact that, for example, prescription drugs, that's lowering costs on real people in real time. What's your take?
So if you look at an analysis from the Penn-Wharton budget model, which is one of these nonpartisan research groups at the University of Pennsylvania, they basically say it's going to have negligible effect on inflation either way. Over the long run, yes, it'll probably be disinflationary. It'll probably bring down costs a little bit. In the near term, maybe the opposite, but either way, it's not going to have a huge effect. I get why they're trying to sell it that way. Inflation is the #1 top of mind issue for voters. I don't really care, either way if it's going to affect inflation. I think there are other things that should be done on that front. But I care a lot more about the climate investments. I care a lot more about the health care provisions. So if that's how they want to market it, fine. But what matters more is saving the planet, frankly. That's why I'm saying, like, even if this tax provision is not perfect, it's good enough because it will help us get to the point of a major investment in climate and lowering or making more affordable health coverage for Americans.
Doug, to that point, final point, your former boss, John McCain, conservative on a lot of things, but he was very early a leader on trying to deal with climate change. And I wonder, looking at things through that prism, do you think that, climate change and this kind of an approach is something that Congress should be dealing with, especially given that this is a bill that net, raises more money than it spends?
Absolutely, Congress should be dealing with it, but I'm not a big fan of this climate strategy, which is tied to going sector by sector and telling companies what to do. I'd be a much bigger supporter of an economy-wide carbon tax, something that is the intellectual cousin of the cap and trade that John McCain proposed. Getting every business in America to care about reducing emissions will solve the problem. If it's in the business community's interest to solve climate, we'll solve it. And this doesn't do it. This dictates to people what they should do. It's modest from the standards of what we need to do in the climate, and I don't like the financing. So yes, for climate change policy, but let's get real about it. This isn't real.
Not real. Well, it is the bill that's on the floor to date, but we will see whether Kristen Sinema joins the Democrat coalition to pass it. Doug Holtz-Eakin, Catherine Rampell, great conversation. Great to see you both. Take care.